What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we got a 2008 Koenigsegg CCX. Now, this is a hypercar, guys. It's got twin superchargers, upgraded superchargers, and she's cranking 1200 horsepower. Now, this car is owned by Randy over at Savage Garage. He elected to bring the car to 1K to have an exhaust install. Well, as it turns out, once you start working on the car, you start to find things that you didn't expect to find. So if you want to see a video where true professionals are working on $1 million car, well, this is the video for you. All right, guys, so it's late at night. I decided to come back here to 1K Motorsports. There's a bunch of guys back there taking off the exhaust off of that Koenigsegg CCX, the 2008 Koenigsegg CCX. You can see the aluminum cover is there on the ground. That's Camillo with a bunch of other media guys working on the car. They're taking the old exhaust off, and we're gonna put a new exhaust on. So we're gonna be doing a little vlogging about this. Should be pretty cool, guys. Stick with me. This should be interesting.
One way with the light. So swivel sockets are great, but sometimes it's like a. So I can get on there without this. This just moves so much. Can you put like? There it is. Okay. Literally, none of these screws are all the same. None of these bolts are the same. Everything's different. That's stripped. Part two. Ready?
That's it. She's off. Oh, this thing looks like it's been modified.
Yeah. By a 5-year-old.
It doesn't look right. I mean, they got the whole bottom cut off, and something was removed.
Someone please get this. Right, look at that corner.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Someone said if it's
I don't know what I'm pointing at. Look at the welds. Okay, best way for you guys to understand here. You guys see these welds? In this one, that's a factory weld.
Right.
You see how it's even and precise? Then you look at this, and then you look at that. That is what they kind of mean, but it's like, oh, in fact, I have a friend that welds, and they just like pile up and pile up and pile up. That right there is what we're talking about. That is
terrible.
I just think it is insane. On $1 million car. And as you can tell here, this was the side that had the exhaust leak. As you know, whenever you have black sud, look how big the exhaust leak goes all the way around. On this side, you can tell it's a little cleaner. It wasn't bad on this side at all. But, yeah.
Well, it's good to get this thing off the car.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so just taking a look at the muffler that we just took off the Koenigsegg. You can see somebody modified this. And whoever did the work was not the same kind of professionals that we have here at 1K Motorsports. You can see there how bad the welds are. See here, it was a really bad exhaust leak. You can see all the pieces of straight pipe that they put in, hacked up the muffler for some reason, left it open across the bottom, and was installed back in the car with the stainless steel cover. We got a new exhaust that's going to go on the car, and yeah, I mean, this had to come off. Somebody really messed this thing up. This looks like a nice piece. Hey, Camillo, what is this? Who made this?
Bowden Auto House made this.
Oh, yeah?
For Randy, for his Koenigsegg. Nice piece, ceramic coated.
Yeah.
1,000,000 times better than that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we just...
no exhaust is 1,000,000 times better than
Yeah,
that.
that was horrible. I can't believe that somebody actually hacked it up and put it in the car.
Yeah, so...
It's good to get that off. But this looks really nice, man. This thing really should slip right in there, really.
Yeah, I gotta take the springs off on there, I'm assuming, and then it should mount right on and we should be done.
Excellent. All right, well, I had the chance. I want to show you guys something. These exhaust flanges are mounted with these spring-loaded fasteners, spring-loaded bolts, whatever you might want to call them. They're hard to get to. You can see them because once the pipes are hooked up to them, especially this one that's missing the spring device, is hard to get to once the pipe is installed. And the one that was leaking, I believe that was this one. Actually, it was the other one. One of those bolts was difficult to get off, and probably was very difficult for the previous installer to get on, which might have caused that exhaust leak. But it's a very interesting thing, not something that you see every day, to see these spring-loaded fasteners. All right, guys, we'll just take a quick look at this boated exhaust. This looks like a pretty well-engineered piece. We expect it to drop right in with no problems. Let's take a good look at it. This thing is looking pretty neat.
I'll be sitting on editing, so just.
Huh.
Nice. She dropped right in.
No, she didn't.
No? What didn't fit?
It doesn't seem like it fits here. So at the end of the day today, we got the factory exhaust off Randy's CCX. We have the new Bowden exhaust mounted up. The only problem is I need new hardware. So in the morning, I'm gonna go out, get some new hardware, finish putting the exhaust in, check clearances, might have to loosen up the pipe that goes from the exhaust to the headers to get everything seated properly. And then from there, we will go onto data logging and tuning the vehicle. And then I wanna also do an inspection on the car, make sure everything's tip-top shape before we put on the dyno. And that's what we got for today.
Cool. All right, guys, so we got the new exhaust on the car. It looks like it fits okay, but the old hardware that was in there is not usable. So tomorrow, the guys here at 1K Motorsports are gonna get some new hardware for it, and then we'll be back tomorrow night to mount everything up and maybe start it up and see how she runs. All right, guys, so we trial fitted the exhaust. Everything fit pretty good, but there's a couple of other things that need to be done with this 2008 Koenigsegg CCX, okay? The guys here at 1K have been working on it. You can see the airbox has been removed and the exhaust has been removed. The reason for this is because that valve cover gasket needs to be replaced. And there was a couple issues with the exhaust, even though it fit. There wasn't a bracket to hold it from rocking, so to speak. It needed a bracket right about this point to hold the back end of it up so that it wouldn't bounce up and down and vibrate. So a little later today, this rear hood, rear cover is going to come off, and we're going to dig into the engine. I'm going to take off that valve cover, try to replace the gasket. All right, everybody, so it's a couple hours later. We got the rear hood taken off of the car, and noticed a few things. This car, this engine right here is an engine that's based off the 2003-2004 Mustang Cobra engine. Now this has been changed around a lot. It's shares some of the things from the Cobra engine. This is 4.7 liter. Makes a lot more power, obviously. Internals are different. Everything's been straightened up. And it's got twin Rotex superchargers. Now where are they? Well, you can see one of them right there. Okay, see that? Rotex supercharger. But there's another one below it. Just below it, you can see it down there. Okay, both of them draw air from this area here. That's the airbox, and then everything comes in underneath. All the pressurized air comes in through the intercooler, then enters into the engine. Looking at the throttle body, I'm going to say this is roughly twin 65 millimeters. I imagine this engine could probably make a lot more power if they stepped up on the boost and opened up that throttle body. But got Bender over here, one of the mechanics here. What's up, man?
What's up, man? How's it going?
We're working on getting the plenum off. And we're going to get at this valve cover, because this valve cover, the gasket is leaking. We need to change that. So that's what we're working on now, guys. here she goes. All right, let's take a look at what this thing looks like. Personally, it looks a lot like a Ford motor. In my opinion, it looks exactly like a 0304 Mach 1 32 valve modular motor. Very interesting.
I'm so glad this is RTV, because you know what you have to do to RTV stuff? It don't come up anywhere.
You're not interested in excuses, bro.
I know, me neither. But I have a feeling that if we buy this gasket and just cut off the ends, that's maybe what they did here. I don't know. A Koenigsegg with Ford gaskets. 4G7B 9439.
All right, everybody, so you can see at this point the professionals over at 1K Motorsports were making every effort to get that cam cover off the motor, but there simply wasn't enough clearance. The motor is very tight to the body of the car. You can see the technicians there doing everything that they can, trying to twist it from every angle, lift it, just everything that they could possibly do, they tried to do, but there simply was not enough room between the motor and the body of the car to get that cam cover out of there. So left them no choice. They proceeded the next day to lower the engine, and that's no easy task because the engine is attached to the frame of the car, you know. So like I say, they made every effort. I was there with them the whole day, and they tried everything possible to get that cam cover out of there, but there just simply wasn't enough room to get it out. So they proceeded to lower the motor, and that was no easy task in itself.
that your Koenigsegg goes, you're supposed to lower the engine roughly 5 inches to get this out or something.
Yo, we'll just look it up on Odometer real quick.
Yeah, just look it up, man.
It's like...
Okay, so here we are a couple of days later, and you can see we got the Koenigsegg up on jack stands. And that's basically because the motor has been lowered, all right? Those frame rails have been disconnected, but they're being held up by the jack stands now so that the whole thing just doesn't drop. And then we were able to get the valve covers off. And this is a good opportunity to look at the valve train of this 2008 Koenigsegg. Now, this is basically a Cobra motor that's been highly modified for this Koenigsegg. Just visually looking at it, you can see that the valve springs have been changed, right? You can see the cam sprockets up front. That pretty much looks Ford, you know? And I'm gonna guess that the cams are not the Ford cams. They're probably something different. I mean, this engine's making tons of power, and she's cranking 2 superchargers. You get another view of them right there. This thing's making 1,200 horsepower to the crank. Okay, those are 2 twin Rotec superchargers. I don't know how big they are, but we'll have to find out. But at this point, we get a good look at what the valve train looks like. Look at that. Very interesting. right, guys, you can see the engine's all been put back together. Valve covers are on nice and tight. What a chore it was to get them off. I mean, we really had to disconnect the whole subframe to lower this engine down to get them out. You can see they're really tight in there, but we all got that taken care of. You can see the carbon fiber plenum. Really can't see the superchargers, but they're tucked in there. And here's a good look at the exhaust. She sounds great. And a fabricated bracket there to hold it up to keep the vibrations under control. There's the outlet, fits in there perfect. Yeah, this is one bad ride, guys. Take a look at the new wheels. Black and gold. Car looks great. Well, there you have it, guys. All the work to the 2008 Koenigsegg CCX has been completed. The new exhaust has been put on. She sounds great. And all the other issues were taken care of. The valve cover gaskets were replaced, and she's all sealed up, and she's running really good. 1K Motorsports did a great job. This is one bad ride, guys. I mean, just look at this car. I look at those red accents, and I just think that we're looking at a modern day Batmobile. Now, this is a 2008. It's a little bit of an old car, but you know what? This is a very, very competitive hypercar. 1200 horsepower out of this small 4.7 V8 Ford engine. With the twin superchargers, this thing's making 1200 horsepower, and she's a beauty. Look at those wheels. That is one bad ride. All right, guys. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
you.